Tumor Spider Queen, we are in the losers bracket of Group B at the Murky Cup. The bounty system is in full swing. We got a lot of awesome bounties already, even though I have to admit that Group B is a little bit stingy with their bounty attempts. But, well, we have our first map in the best of 3 series. We got Murky Cup, the Freedom Exporters, going up against Rozpierdol, the Polish team. Now, once again, we have 2 rules. We have rule number 1, every hero can only be played once within a series, so to say Meta Madness light rules. And in addition to that, we have a bounty system. So there's essentially 2 prize pools to the tournament, a normal prize pool of 1,000 euros, and then we have a crowdfunded second prize pool. There is a crowdfunding link, by the way, in the description of the video if you're currently checking this one out on YouTube. People have been asking to contribute to tournaments directly, so now there is a crowdfunding link there that you can check out. There's also, by the way, a link for the bounty list and additional information if you're currently looking for that. But that second prize pool, the crowdfunded one, that is the bounty prize pool. So teams have bounties that they can complete over the course of the tournament. Here's a list of all of the bounties. And again, if you complete a bounty successfully, you get a point. If you try a bounty but you fail, you get half a point. You can only complete each of these bounties once per team, and at the end of the tournament we're looking at how many bounties were completed in total, how many bounties each team completed, and then you get a share out of that prize pool. It's a fairly straightforward system at the end of the day, and it incentivizes teams to go for some of these handicaps and, you know, just come in, make a risk-reward assessment and think about, hey, can we win with some of these? Is this a map where we think, okay, we can claim a victory here and get also, can dip a little bit into that second prize pool? And it's been a lot of fun so far. It's totally optional. Some teams are going all in on bounties. Other teams are just saying, like, you know what, we just want to go for the tournament and victory here. And so far, it's been a blast. Now, we got Jojo as a first pick. Cho'Gall is banned. Rozpierdol here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, they are not going to be able to pick Cho'Gall for themselves either. And I'm a little bit curious to see how this is going to play out at the end of the day, just in regards to how many bounties are taken. Because, as I said before, Group B, very different than Group A. Group A, everybody went in on bounties the entire time. Not everybody, but most teams. Whereas in Group B, just seems to be a little bit more tight when it comes to how the games are playing out and teams are reacting to it by not taking any risks. So we have some absolutely epic matches incoming in the lower brackets, and I have no idea who's going to take it here, and also what kind of strategies are going to be used today. I can only assume that the teams had a good look at the games that were played yesterday, just to make sure that they have a good idea of what they're up against and what their opponent is trying to pick and play. But yeah, we'll see. So for now we got Jojo and Leoric on the side of Rozpierdol, Lucio for the support, and then on the hands of the Freedom Exporters we're starting things off with Junkrat, a couple of traps obviously on Tomb of Spider Queen. Can also make sure that they're getting good interrupts with the grenades, and then we got Blaze on top of that, played by Cure on the side. So Vala gets banned, Cho'Gall, Chromie both getting banned here. And with the American team also, quick side note, they obviously play cross server, so this means that they have a ping disadvantage compared to Rozpierdol. This is all played out on the European server, so all of these games take place on Europe. The NA team decided that they will play cross server in order to participate here, so big shout out and big thank you to them. But also the note for everyone that watches this, that they still have that disadvantage of ping. You can always argue about how big that impact is. The fact of the matter is, it's there, it's noticeable, and sometimes it has an impact, especially when you're playing some heroes that usually thrive in a low ping environment like Zeratul, Tracer, just to name a few examples. Anduin banned out, and also some wave clear denied to the red team, with Khaldor now being eliminated. So he got banned quickly, focusing on the majors. This is, by the way, another map where you sometimes also get those Kel'Thas bounties. We still have the Conviction bounty up for both of the teams. And side note, you don't need to complete the talent, you just need to use it. You just need to pick the talent, not complete it, in order to be able to grab the bounty. Rega and Tyrael. So some extra damage maybe from Prismaticism. We'll see. And yeah, for the red team, for the Polish team, we still need damage. They haven't picked anything. They have a lot of wave clear, of course, with Leo and with Johanna, but we still need them with the actual DPS, and we could see a bounty from them. Maiev and Asmodan. So you have that combo between Asmodan and Johanna again, which I like a lot, actually. So This could be cool. I love Jojo Asmodan. It gives me nostalgia vibes. Seeing Asmodan on Tomb of Spider Queen is a lot of fun. I wish Blizzard would buff the numbers just a tiny little bit on some of the damage output that he has. Again, just a tiny bit. Not that he all of a sudden gets insanely OP again, that he was at some points in the game, where if you end up with a late game Asmodan, it's basically just game over. But here we have the Freedom Exporters with Sylvanas, so no bounty from them, going straight into Sylph and trying to win game number 1 without any bounties. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the lower bracket. As already mentioned, we got the Freedom Exporters up against Rospedol, and we're heading straight into Tomb of the Spider Queen. The blue team in game number 1 with Madara on Junkrat. We got Prismaticism on Sylvanas going for the Unfurling Shadows on level 1 again. Porky on Rega. We got Q on Blaze. And Canopy Growth, aka Justing, is playing Tyrael with the Ardent Restoration. So we might actually get to see some Judgment again. I expected, honestly, together with Blaze, is Sanctification. But the build so far is indicating that Judgment is at least an option. Over on the right side of the map, we got Makotzel on Johanna. He's going to assist Cesarbos with Asmodan in stacking early on. Ethan Leoric, Balon Lucio, and Boronek on Maya. With Asmodan, as I keep repeating, it's all about helping him to stack early. If you play in Plastic League or Wood League, then really pay attention to what these guys are going to try and do. They will attempt to assist Asmodan with every single wave. So a little bit of damage done already. He doesn't throw an orb right away. Jojo comes in, here's the orb, bam, and it instantly clears the entire wave. So this is exactly what you want to do. You want to rotate between the lanes with 2-3 heroes and then just continue exactly this play. So 12 stacks already. Jojo is going to come in again in a moment. They're doing a little bit of damage on this, and then she clears it, and they go for heroes at the same time and get the kill on Sylvanas. That's 24 stacks already for Asmodan. And you see, once again, a little bit of AoE. Bam, clear the wave. Asmodan at 36 stacks. If you're diligent with Asmodan in the early game with such a rotation, and you have Johanna, Leoric, or someone else help him out, then you can very, very quickly get to great numbers, and Asmodan will be totally self-sufficient on these lanes, can clear them himself much, much easier, and will have a huge impact early on in the game. So you don't have to wait until, I don't know, level 16 or 20 before he's really having an impact and getting some numbers off the board. So already sitting at 64 stacks, fantastic progress from Rospedol, the American team here with the camp. Same is also true for Rospedol, obviously, and the rotation is still continuing. So they have him at 72 stacks as the Freedom Exporters are trying to interrupt that rotation, but honestly, up to now, they are still struggling with that a bit. They're at least going for the camp at the bottom of the map and are starting to claim the Siege Giants here. Cure and Porky are on the job. Whereas Asmodan is, as I said before, just continuing with Johanna over and over again. Once again, Condemn or Bloop gets the punish in, and that is now 94 stacks. 2 minutes in, 94 stacks, just to give you guys a bit of an idea. So very nice wave clear, very solid rotations, good stacking for Asmodan. Also, talking about stacks, Tyrael is sitting at 8 right now with his Ardent Restoration. So for survivability, is going to try and grab that as much as he can. There's a little bit of a stop put to this now with Cure trying to interrupt any rotational play. And once again, a little move here by Jojo. And you can already tell that it's much, much easier at this point for Asmodan to actually get the stacks with the hits that he claims. He's not really focusing on any heroes, so this is going to come later. For now, it's just literally the attempt to get him into a good spot early on so that he can contribute more and more as the game progresses. And the first web weavers touch ground. Now, we're not quite there yet. We don't have enough gems from the teams at this point, but we're definitely getting there. And at this point, they could get the first turn in more or less. Now, as the rotation still plays out, we still have at the bottom of the map, there's 1 versus 1 between Cure and Ether here. And for now, Sylvanas also on 23 stacks for Unfurling Shadows. The build on Tyrael continues as expected with Divine Vigor now. And the aggression in the middle is starting to focus a bit more on the heroes as everybody is attempting to interrupt turn-ins that will surely come at this point. Bronek gets attacked, and here come the Freedom Exporters, and they free Maiev. Freedom exported, check, successful. And yeah, Porky gets interrupted, but at least adjusting Ontario was able to deliver his gems. We got 35 against 27 now delivered. So not too bad. Turn-in opportunities are still there. And now at the top, they have to try and stop this. Full-on dagger build right now from Chris Madison, by the way. And Asmodan at 178 stacks. 4 minutes in, and we have 178 stacks already. Has, of course, also gone for the Master of Destruction here. So this is also going to help him quite a lot. We'll have, as the game continues with Web Weavers, also his trade activated more to push these moves. And the next hit is already coming, so they're closing in on 200, which will complete his level 1 quest as well. Which is, of course, going to be another pretty big one. And that's going to help a lot. But, yep, the hits keep coming at the top lane. It is the blue team, on the other hand, that was able to turn in. So despite all of the efforts that we've seen from the Polish team here, we have the Americans with the first Web Weaver wave of game number 1 in this best of 3 series. So that has to be stopped as quickly as possible. Asmodan can now pretty much help himself with a level 7 talent. We still see him stacking his baseline, but level 1 is completed. Q misses the stun here, but he shouldn't be into too much trouble here. So he's already getting out. The defense is on, though. Web Weavers are coming in. The defense is starting. I would assume that Boss is going for the Black Pool on level 10. I don't really think we're going to get Demonic Invasion here, though we've gotten that once or twice. But yeah, we'll see. For now, it's just all about trying to take these Web Weavers out before they're doing too much damage. Bit of a hit into the middle to already help out here. That's obviously one of the nice things when you're using Asmodan. The lanes are so close together that he easily can help out on one of the side lanes at least a bit. That helps, but again, the damage is still there. A lot of those towers and gates have now been taken apart by the American team. So the blue team, with a good start, they weren't able to take a fort out or a severely damaged one, but they did okay here. Question is then always how much the red team can do when they complete their own turn-in. We have 1 kill each, so not really a kill-heavy game up to this point. More and more hits also coming together from Sylvanas, for example, with the stacks that she's currently holding. She's at 16,000 damage, leading the damage numbers, whereas we have Leoric in the top damage spot for the red team. You can see that Asmodan is currently way up on siege damage. Him and Jojo rotating heavily, of course, and trying to take all of this out. We get indeed, by the way, the Demonic Invasion. So no Black Pool for Asmodan. And Sanctification, despite the build that we've seen, not going for Judgment. So it's a double layer of defense with the Bunker plus Sanctification. Porky! Yeah, the Sanct is in! And Rega trying to escape, but he is taken out. The Siege Giants were also claimed by the Polish team. Napierdalai. And they're trying to go for kill number 2, but Cure is able to recover a few of the gems and then head back out. But Siege Giants taken. Additional kill for Rospierdol. And still Asmodan defending as best as he can. The turn-in has now happened as well. So the red team is ready to push. And yeah, this one should be taken out pretty quickly. I think Asmodan is going to take care of that fairly easily. Yep, burns the wave down, collects the gems, and now with the Web Weavers, they should be able to do a little bit of work here. We have a 5 versus 5 back up. Talon's obviously dead. Even Asmodan pushing alone at the top lane, going up against Junkrat in a second. And over here in the middle is where the 3-man is trying to take the wall down. It's going to be the big question. How much damage can Rospierdol do in comparison to what the Americans did previously? Oh ho ho! Asmodan going down at the top lane. Okay, that is pretty bad. That is one of your key assets in a push situation like this. Losing him that quickly to just 2 heroes is something that should not have happened there. So Asmodan going down. Great move by the blue team. The Americans able to shut that push down very quickly. Not a lot of damage done. Very similar, honestly, in regards to its impact to what we've seen previously from the blue team, from the Freedom Exporters. Ether with 19 gems, trying to escape here, and Cure thinking for a second of moving in with the jet propulsion, but they realized that they were just a moment too late, and so they have to back off in that situation. Now, 13 talent soon coming in. Very even game right now. Asmodan still pushing a bit up at the top, obviously utilizing his trade continuously here. One of the things with Asmodan is just that the hitbox is so big. It's so easy to body block him and put him into a pretty awkward spot. The 13 talents are kicking on for both of the teams. And at this point, more of a trap focus, very heavy trap focus from Junkrat, for example. But Sylvanas is jumping out, Rhaegar gets caught, and can they get a kill? They can get a kill against Sylvanas. Rhaegar is still alive, the question is for how much longer, because Porky gets hit again, and Azmodan. Little kill steal right there as he comes in for the last hit. And that's a double kill now. The red team also with 2 Web Weaver waves at this point. Riptide gets blown to pieces, and this is bad news for Tyrael. Tyrael is dead, and he cannot get a kill with the explosion. That's 3 heroes down just as the Web Weavers come into play. Oh, that sucks for the NA team. Down at the bottom of the map, we have the instant aggression against the 4. This one will fall. And I think we can all agree that the one in the middle is not going to survive either. They might be able to take all 3 out, as Azmodan and Maiev are now busy at the top lane doing work here. And yep, they're taking this one out as well. Big hits coming in now from Azmodan too. As you can see from the siege damage numbers, by the way, he is completely controlling the minion waves. So that's a big part of what's happening here. Fully controlling the minion waves, making it really difficult for the opponent. He's starting to get some solid hero damage into. They come in with a demonic invasion. Big attacks and hits that we're getting from Rospiadol as they're hoping for another kill against Tyrael. Rhaegar also pushed back as in the mid lane Leoric was pushing, and that keep has taken tons of damage. 3 forts destroyed and a keep down to 50% of its HP. Pretty much immediately, just with 1 turn-in. That second turn-in was rough. Very, very rough for the Freedom Exporters. And of course, it also resulted in them falling behind in experience. To make matters worse, with all of the gems that the red team was holding, they now turned in again. And they will try and finish the job in the middle. So they are going to aim for the keep 100%. Especially now that they have level 16. Azmodan on level 16, straight with the Hell Rift. So a little bit of synergy with his level 7, and again, just starting to go for that push. 40 seconds until the ult is back, but everybody else has heroic abilities already off cooldown. And Azmodan, by the way, on 326 stacks now on the baseline. So he's also slowly starting to get closer to completion on this one. They're trying to go for Cure. Nice. It will force the bunker. So they're trading ults, and that is a cooldown victory, obviously, for Leoric. But they want that push in the middle, and saving this keep is going to be a nightmare, if not impossible. I mean, it's going to be impossible. So the first keep is already gone. Still no level 16 talents for the Freedom Exporters. They're exporting a lot, but not enough. 16 will soon be ready, but the pressure is there. Azmodan blew up another minion wave, and now the focus at the bottom of the map is they're trying to get a kill. Cure gets slow, needs to be careful, and is able to get away. Azmodan is still pushing at the top, has gone very, very quickly for the demonic invasion once that it was ready, and is pressuring this more and more, but hasn't been able to take it out. Can, from a safe distance, of course, still use a couple of orbs to take this apart, and is starting to do more or less that. Put the minions out here if he wants to. 360 stacks, also a pretty nice number now for Azmodan for the baseline. We got level 16 talents on both sides, which for Sylvanas means evasive fire, and Blaze has gone into the Juggernaut plating. The damage output is starting to rise a bit for specifically Maiev. She's currently the top damage dealer in the game. It's Sylvanas for the blue team. Basically on even numbers with Junkrat. But the blue team is trying to turn in. They need a turn in, and they need it quickly. It's 5 kills to 2, and the Freedom Exporters need to at least deliver what Cure is holding. Him on Blaze with 34 gems. You really want to deliver them as quickly as you can. Azmodan might be in trouble. The Jet Propulsion hits, but he still gets away. The team assisting already, and now they're coming in with another move, and it's Blaze that dies. That's all the gems on the ground. Another big orb against Rhaegar. He's also dead. It's Tyrael who collects the gems, but they're already putting him into a corner. Can he escape? And the answer is nope. Not gonna happen. Nope. He's gone. So is Sylvanas. They're chasing the final survivor, Junkrat, but there's a good chance that he also gets destroyed. The keep is already gone, and no matter whether Junkrat makes it or not, the game ends here. Madara trying to survive. It's a 5-man team wipe. The entire team eliminated, and that is a victory. Asmodan not completing his baseline, but he got close, 398. They never made it to level 20 either. But this is the lead in the best of 3 series as Rospidol takes the W on the first map and completes the Asmodan bounty.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, Infernal Shrines, and Rospidol, the Polish team, is in the lead. They have a bit of an advantage here, I'd say. They're playing in their country colors, so that might give them a little bit of an extra boost. The Asmodan bounty is completed, so yeah, well done. Rospidol locks in a bounty point. And for the Americans, this is obviously a bit of a setback. I mean, let's not forget, we are in the losers bracket right now. So if you lose the series, then you are out of Group B. You might still have a chance in the last chance qualifier, but this is definitely not what the Americans were hoping for when they were signed up here. I honestly expected them to be a bit more dominant. Rospidol, not a pushover team by any means. They have a lot of tournament experience. They played for years, obviously. The lineup always changing a little bit. Every now and then a player being swapped out, but again, this team has a lot of experience in competitive Heroes of the Storm. But for the Freedom Exporters, even with the ping disadvantage that they obviously have, this is something where I was like, yeah, I am not sure. I thought they would be doing a little bit better here. So without bounty attempts from them so far, they're now down in the best of 3. They can't lose this one, or they're out of the group. For Rospidol, obviously, a 2-0 victory would be exactly what they want here. They have a long way ahead of them if they are going the full distance. There's still a couple of games to be played. The 10 heroes that were played on the previous map cannot be played again. So that's 10 heroes out of the pool removed. And yeah, now just a question of what exactly are the boys in red gonna try and do here. Shogal gets banned again. Now, at least to an extent, that surprises me a little bit, because unless I'm mistaken, yeah, the Cho'Gall bounty has been completed by Rospidol. So, if the red team decides that they want to play Cho'Gall, they're not going to do it for the bounty. So, Cho'Gall bounty has been completed by them. And I could rather see them playing one of the other heroes, maybe one of the mages on Infernal Shrines if they're aiming for a bounty. I would have expected to see a few more Khaldor attempts, for example, in Group A. That was one of the bounties that was attempted multiple times. So, yeah, I would have thought that some other teams are going to try and play a little bit around Khaldor and set him up. Now, when it's happening early in a best of 3 series, the problem is that oftentimes you still have heroes like Genji around that can apply an enormous amount of pressure onto him. You kind of want to pick him last, I guess. By now we got Tychus and we have Urel for the side lane aggression, with the Haka being banned, obviously a great one to take on. And for the red team, with Hogger, nice choice for the side lane. So that's already a first nice step to get a bit of control over any shrine play and have him just pog around the entire time. Can also be the start of a bit of a dive comp if you're going for his Hoarder pull, then I don't know, dive in with an Uberak or whatever for a specific target. Hanzo and Muradin. I want to see a little bit more the meme strike from Hanzo. It's something that I could have seen from Madara again. But yeah, Muradin for the front line. And with Tychus. Tychus is such a typical pick, by the way, for NA on this map. It's obviously a hero that gets chosen a lot, not only in North America. But when I see a North American team on Infernal Shrines lock in Tychus immediately, it just, in my head, automatically gives me a throwback to the HGC days, when the dominating meta on North America was just to go into double and triple transformations on Infernal Shrine. Alexstrasza Dragon Queen, Tychus Odin, Tacita Archon, stuff like that. That was so popular back then in NA. And it was played every now and then on the European side too, and I think the Koreans dabbled in it for a second as well. But nobody really played it for long. It was just North America, where double transformation was a massive thing. And Infernal Shrines was always a battle about which team would be able to lock those heroes in. So when I see now an A team to come in and say like, hey, we're going to pick that up, first pick, is a bit of a throwback, even though Tychus is of course an obvious, not an obvious, but like a popular choice, and I don't think they're gonna go for a double transformation here. We get Anduin and we have Diablo. It's another map where I could have also seen Alexstrasza and Stitches played if a team wants to go for a bounty attempt. But, well, let's see if Rospedol locks another one in, because if they want to do that, then they have to do it now. And the only choice would, I assume, be a decent damage dealer for them. Unless you want to lock in Probius or Murky now all of a sudden. But Probius is a choice that is possible, yeah? But they go for Auriel and they go for Sergeant Hammer. So at this point, they are in the lead. They have completed a bounty and they're saying, okay, this is it for now. We just want to win the game. No bounty attempt on the second map versus North America. And for the Freedom Exporters, I really think they're just going to run down the meta train here to take on Rospedol and force game number 3. Because if they lose on Infernal Shrines, then they are out of the group. So I don't think they're going to take any additional risks. Final pick on Infernal Shrines is Tacita. They go for the double. I've just talked about this. And now they're actually doing it. Didn't quite expect it to go all the way. But yep, they go for Tacita. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Infernal Shrines map number 2. Game number 2. And North America really did it. It's the HGC throwback. Madara on Tychus and Prismaticism on Tacita. They go for the double transformation. We're gonna have Odin and Archon in tandem trying to dominate on Infernal Shrines during the objective phase. Cure on Urel for the team. We got Porky on Anduin, and then Justing with Diablo. As over on the right side with the lead in the best of 3 series here in the losers bracket, we have Markotzel on Murden, Bronek on Hanzo, Bala on Auriel, Cesabos on Sergeant Hammer, and Ether on Hoggar. Let's go! Also, quick note, as usual, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, make sure to hit that like button. Again, it really helps to promote the Heroes of the Storm videos to a new audience. And we had tons of people in the last couple of weeks, as some of the videos went a bit viral, commenting that the Heroes of the Storm matches got randomly promoted into their feed, and that we were super happy to discover that there's actually still some tournaments happening, that there's still an esports scene in Heroes of the Storm, that they actually installed the game again and played a couple of matches. So if you want to help to spread this and to get maybe a few more people back into the game and make those queues a little bit shorter and better, then make sure that you like the video. It really helps. It helps with the algorithm. And again, one click and you're done. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, that's another thing, of course, that you can do to also help promote this bit. It is appreciated. Thank you. Down at the bottom of the map, we have a little bit of a StarCraft battle. That's, by the way, the proper skin that you really need. Yeah, look at Madara. This is none of these shitty shenanigans that we had yesterday, where all of a sudden some of the heroes just showed up in winter skins. Nah, Madara, he knows what's up. Sun's out, guns out. It's super hot in Spain, and I would assume that it's pretty hot during the summertime in most regions. I mean, if there's a couple of Australians watching right now, then I'm sorry. But everybody else... Oh, Madara, no! What is this? What a shit mount, dude. Just as I praise you for the skin choice, and then you come in with a mount like this. This is... disappointing. Disappointing to say the least, my friend. I expected more from you. I really did. I had high hopes for you. You were the shining beacon of light in a universe of darkness, and then you picked a shitty mount. Unbelievable. Bronek is able to get out. Nice little attack there from the Freedom Exporters, and they nearly got him. They nearly got him. They were so close, but Hanzo was able to jump out. So, well, at the bottom of the map, Cesabos is sieging up. We have Tychus now going up against Sergeant Hammer. Siege tanks usually out DPS the fire bats a little bit. So, yeah, nice intro. I like, by the way, this combo. This is obviously something that I've talked about in the past, but every time I see it, it just makes me smile when it's executed properly. You have seen it in action already once or twice. We see Tacita move in with a quick wall with an electric fence behind the target, and then Diablo stuns the target into it. You can obviously make a similar play with Leoric plus Diablo, so when you create some additional walls, you can use them to just get more stuns out of Diablo, and that's exactly what they're trying to do here. So, good move from them. There's a lot of potential with the draft that they have chosen, but they lost Urel a second ago, and now Anduin on the run, and he's not making it. Ether got dangerously close to those towers and was nearly eliminated. Oh, and the same is true for Bronek. Bronek is living a dangerous life here. He eats the grenade and is still in play. But that is 2 kills to 0 now. And we have the Shrine active. As down at the bottom of the map. That's a battle. Sergeant Hammer just sieges up. It's a battle for the ages. Who's taking it? And it is a win for Tacita. Protoss clearly OP. Clearly OP. Terran insanely underpowered. Doesn't stand a chance. Oh, that's a big win. I like how it just went in, sieged up right in front of him. And yeah, so with that now we have again the fight for the first Punisher. 31 stacks already, but the blue team comes in with another kill. They take Muradin down, so now it's 2 kills to 2. But obviously they're way behind on the Shrine minions, and I think those 5 should be doable for Khaldor. They need 3 more, 2 more. Yeah, they're gonna claim the objective. Nice effort though by the blue team. I mean, again, they came in a bit late to make this happen, but here comes the Arcane Punisher. 2 kills to 2. And when it comes to the build, we now have the Khaldarian Amulet over here, then Plasma Shield, so all Resonance Beam that we're getting from Tacita with the Arc Discharge now. Speccing heavily into that, not going for all-out AoE on the Shrines or anything along those lines. In addition to that, Hammer Siege mode is now of course ready, so Sergeant Hammer has a bit more mobility and also gets the assist from Oriel with the Energized Cord right here. And they take the wall out. Nothing too crazy. Down at the bottom of the map, Bronick still with a couple of hits. He's working on his level 1. Has not completed that yet. And in the middle, the next attack already. But we're still waiting for level 10 abilities. This is when it gets really interesting, because then the entire idea behind that team composition for the blue team starts to unfold. Also, Master Assassin on level 1, obviously the passive, super important for them. The camp gets stolen, and we have both of the teams on identical experience, basically. A couple extra structures were taken out by Rospidol. Freedom Exporters have lost the wall in the middle and down at the bottom of the map, but none of the forts have been seriously attacked or anything of the sorts. So right now, top side, still Ether up against Cure. And down at the bottom right, get whipped, baby. Yeah, nice hit, and that was a quick push against Tychus to make sure that that camp is taken. Cure is already sitting in the wings here, and it's getting ready and misses the swing. And here comes level 10. So, off we go. Double transformation is now ready. Archon and Odin in play for the next strike. That's where we're gonna get the action. For Sergeant Hammer, we get the Napalm Strike, short distance arrow, they go for Anduina, and the Crybaby goes down. And Diablo gets also murdered. Easy peasy, double kill. But here comes Tacita, and they take down Sergeant Hammer. Very, very nice counter kill. Guess the rest of them is going to be able to escape here, but that was well played. So first it was Hanzo that set up the double kill against Anduin and Diablo, and then Tacita comes back down to the bottom of the map to at least drop Sergeant Hammer, so it's a trade at the end of the day. But nicely done. And the blue team also walks away with a camp that they're claiming a moment later. Next Shrine is spawning at the top lane, by the way. So that's where we're gonna get the next one. But in the meantime, we're down at the bottom of the map. The attack still coming in. Prismaticism, again, with a little bit of a different approach to Tacita than what we are usually seeing here. But they are focusing heavily on the Shrine fights. Now, he will have Archon ready for the battle. Normally, what you're doing with your Odin is you wait until there's roughly 20 minion stacks on the Shrine, and then you activate it. That usually lasts you the remaining 20 that you need. The timing with the cooldown just works out for Tacita. Obviously used his ult at the bot lane fight when he was able to take down Sergeant Hammer. But now with the teams both claiming their Shaman camp, fight might actually break out a little bit sooner than that. Oriel already with a quick heal, and now it's party time. This is really what we've been waiting for ever since the blue team picked their composition. So, let's see how much you can do with Odin plus Archon, because that's when the party really starts. Damage output so far, 20,000 and 22,000 for the two StarCraft heroes. Here comes Diablo with the engage. Eagles to counter the Apocalypse. Nice, here comes the arrow. And already we have Odin being used. Urel with her ult, says the boss is low, gets a heal from Oriel and gets out. But that is now Odin plus Archon. Maybe a little bit early for the two of them. And Archon is already over. Wasn't able to maintain that very long. Odin still alive and kicking. But they didn't really get enough out of the ults here. The blue team is already starting to back off a bit. Specifically, Diablo is in trouble. Still eats the Storm Bolt and dies. Didn't have enough stacks, so he's not going to respawn immediately. And that is bad news for the Freedom Exporters. They're not looking too great here, honestly. The ult's not nearly as impactful as they were obviously intending them to. And the red team played around them, backed off. Tacita lost Archon very, very quickly here. And after that, they waited out Odin, made their way towards the shrine, and that is the second objective now. So here comes the Punisher. And the blue team is not even trying to defend. They're realizing that this is not going to happen for them. So instead, they're just looking for value at the bottom of the map as they go and steal a few camps away and could probably also destroy maybe a few towers, maybe a gate, maybe they can even damage one of the forts. But this one is going to fall. So some applied pressure down here. Light bomb engage, but Bronek already saw that coming from a mile away and is now backing off. Might still die though. And oh, the short distance arrow. Whoa! Not bad. If not for that ult to stop them for just a second, he would have died. And now they went too deep. And that was a beautiful stun. They catch Urel and take her down. Now they go for Madara. The NA team went in deep for that Hanzo kill. Couldn't take him down. And then as they're attempting to retreat, they get flanked hard. So, yeah, they got baited heavily. I always knew that Bronek was a master baiter, but he just showed once again how good he actually is at baiting people in way too deep. So, nicely done. And that resulted in 2 kills and more freedom at the bottom of the map where they are now easily taking the next fort. So, this entire sequence of plays gave them 2 forts. Some counterplay at the top. 16 is also on the horizon now for Rospiedol. And they are working the hit points down on the final fort in the middle. Level 16 talents again are there. They have an advantage on this. We have Hanzo now with 40,000 damage, 29,000 for Tychus. But the poke is, yeah, the poke is strong. Poke is really strong at this point. Now, in the meantime, what we're getting is, of course, a desperate attempt to defend by the blue team. Okay. No! Diablo trying to come in with a light bomb and Tacita just saying like, nah, you stay here. You stay here. I guess he didn't have his cooldowns ready, but yeah, he dropped the ball also quickly, but that was a bit unfortunate. Arrow, stun, and Tacita is gone. But yeah, so this is how the wall looked like. Like, take a look at Diablo and how he tries to engage after the light bomb comes in. So, here's the light bomb, and then the wall. It's like, nope. So, that was a bit unfortunate. I think I don't think the wall was I don't think the wall was supposed to be there. I think it was, of course, trying to shut down the other hero and not Diablo. But it looked kind of funny. It looked like sabotage. I want to see the PayPal account of Prismaticism. Maybe they got paid off by the Polish team for just a second. Polish rubles or something. Don't get mad at me, Polish viewers. Napierdalaj. I know you don't have ruble yet. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Anyways, 9 kills too soon. Okay, 9 kills to 3. 16 versus 16 on the talent count at least. The ports are all gone. The next objective is up. And yeah, we keep already down to 50% HP. There's a kill opportunity and they take it, finally! Kill number 4 on the board for the Freedom Exporters. They saved Diablo, so well done. And maybe they got a chance in the 5 versus 4 to bring this back. They have the even talent, so that's something. But yeah, at this point, the keep in the middle is nearly destroyed. Even the one at the top lane has taken some damage. And honestly, if they don't take the Punisher now, then I think they're going to have a huge problem. And that problem is going to be, first of all, that their keep is going to fall. And the second one, that the core might die too. And they drop out of Group B. So this is the moment to make that comeback happen. If you don't do that now, then yeah, I don't know. By the way, Oriel has not completed her level 4 quest yet, so when it comes to the whip, she is missing a few of those hits. We got 64,000 damage now from Hanzo as he's still padding his stats with 55k for Sergeant Hammer in second place. And then Tassadar. And they are fighting tooth and nail now for that Punisher, and they really need it. It's a 5 versus 5 backup on the map. Here comes Odin, and Tassadar still has Archon as well. Double stun is already in. Nice save from Anduin. Here comes the Apoc, and it is time for damage and carnage. Oriel is gone. Sergeant Hammer is dead. It's comeback time, baby. 39 stacks for the red team, and they're losing the objective. 39 stacks against, what was it, 31? And they were not able to get a single Shrine minion to at least win the Punisher. So now a big opportunity finally for the Freedom Exporters as they are getting some headway in the middle of the map as they are taking down that fort. Comeback time, baby. Definitely a 6.5 out of 10 moment. So that's an opportunity right here, right now. Jump is in. They're trying for, and not only trying, they're killing Hogger. They find an opportunity here. Hogger goes down, and that is the keep in the middle. Guys, they are absolutely crushing that mid lane. What the hell? They're going to try and go for the core too, but Sergeant Hammer is now back. It's a 5 versus 4. We are 15 minutes into the game. Not sure if they can end here, but boy, they have been waiting for that opportunity. And Sergeant Hammer gets the heal. They're trying to turn it on Diablo. Diablo goes down. That's the first step, but the core is down to 50%. The arrow goes absolutely nowhere, but that's a double kill. The game about to be over though. 8% and the Punisher ends it all. That's game. We are going to game number 3. GG. Well, what can I say? Game number 3. Blink and you miss it. North America had one good fight basically the entire game. It was enough to win them the game. I think Ross Pedol was just like sitting stunned in front of their monitors thinking like, what just happened? So kudos. Kudos to North America. Huge 6.5 out of 10 moment for them. No comeback mechanics. They are played to the wall. They lose everything and then they win one objective. They go through the middle and just literally run it down mid and end the game. One push is all they needed at the 15-minute mark. So, good on them. We're going to game number 3, the final map in this best of 3 series here in the lower bracket. So, Towers of Doom will be the map. And 20 heroes that were played in the previous 2 games are unavailable now. So, the hero pool a bit limited. Are we going to see bounties? Not so sure after we just saw there. There are maybe a few that the teams might consider. Again, if you are, for example, thinking about playing Stitches already on a map like this, you might also get Alexstrasza, but I don't think they're going to go too much out of their way to try and lock a bounty in. But yeah, very nice effort from the teams here. And I want to highlight again that on the last map, I mean, I talked a little bit about the combo of Tassadar and Tychus already before it was chosen. But I should probably also point out, in case that you missed it, that it was actually the map choice of the NA team. So North America chose Infernal Shrines on the second map. And since they lost the first map, that also means that when they had the choice whether they want to go into first pick, first ban, or map choice, they went for map choice, which isn't really all that common. So they clearly were aiming for that comp and trying to make it work. Worked in their favor, good for them. And now we have Medivh, and that makes things already interesting around the potential Stitches choice that I've been talking about earlier. Because if you want to play Medivh with Stitches, you can go for that Kidnap combo and just go hook Gorge into a portal. Don't have to, but it becomes an option. ETC as a bit of a counter, and also Malfurion against Medivh, because both of them are very good at portal control, so it doesn't really matter if the opponent is trying to engage onto you and you're trying to lock down the portal where they're attempting to attack you from, or if they're attempting to escape and you're trying to shut it down. ETC can push them away, can stun them out, Malfurion can drop the roots on the portal. So there's already tools being used here by the North American teams to try and control Medivh as best as they can. We don't get the Stitches combo, unfortunately. Garrosh has been proven multiple times already how powerful he is with Medivh and gets locked in. What I honestly would love to see again too, we had that I believe in the Anniversary Cup at least once, is Medivh plus Arthas. It's kind of fun too. Arthas has fallen off as a main tank, obviously a lot. It's just better choices. But it's always kind of fun to see him played again. And you know, especially when the game goes well and he's having a huge impact just running everybody down with this Frozen Tempest. Now, with that comp already established, Stukov gets shut down as a potential pick on the support side for Rospedol. Gul'dan, so no Horrifiers coming in here either. But outside of ETC, what's going to be the side lane choice for the North American team? They must be pretty happy with the outcome of game number 2. For a long time, it didn't look good for them. Also, just as a bit of a side note, again, if you can't remember the bounties, here's a quick glimpse at them again as we're getting the next few picks. Falstad and Arthas get chosen, so apparently ask and you shall receive. I talk about Arthas and then a second later he gets actually picked. So this is going to be interesting to see how they're going to play this one out. Maybe even a triple frontline for them. Unfortunately not a bounty for this. I think it will go a little bit too far, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get any of these bounties, but here just a quick reminder of what's actually available if they wanted to lock one in. So, final 2 picks for the red team. And here comes Rexa, and we get Deckard Cain. So some Misha plays on the side lane. And for Madara, the final choice with the front line of ETC and Arthas. They go side lane Arthas here. I want to see a full damage build. Technically, they could of course also swap things around, play stage dive with ETC, set him on the side lane, and try and use Arthas as the actual main tank. But either way, they now have a little bit of a beefier front line than just simply picking ETC and who knows what else on the side lane. Cassia for Madara. Okay, so we got 2 range damage dealers. Final map in the best of 3 series, everybody. Towers of Doom is our map, so let's go game number 3. Game number 3, everybody! Let's go! So, over on the left side, Arthas played by Cure for the Freedom Exporters. We got Prismaticism on Falstad, Porky on Malfurion, Madara on Cassia, and Justin on ETC. On the right side of the map, and our final map in this series, Makotzel on Garrosh, Bala on Deckard Cain, Ether on Rexa, Bronic on Greymane, and Cesabos is playing Medivh. Let's go! So, party time! At this point, we are looking, unfortunately, not at stacks for Cassia. That would have been pretty neat, actually, to see her also with a bit of stacking on all of this. It's always kind of fun when you have these little mini games we can play out. But we get Rhyme on Arthas. Cure is still playing the hero, so he will be on the side lane. We have main tank ETC for them. They could have swapped that around, technically speaking. And with that little brawl in the middle of the map, we already have some easy stacks for Medivh, so he's been capitalizing on that situation. If there's something like a 5 versus 5 that just like breaks out in the middle, then Medivh is obviously capitalizing heavily on this. You can just fire away and get some hits in. First blood is Misha, so that's a quick kill here, and they're trying to get a bit aggressive on Arthas, who, by the way, now that we see the portals here, another hero that can control the portal plays of Medivh at least to a certain extent. So this could really help them too, dealing with Medivh as the game continues, because if you have nothing to really control him, then Medivh is just simply gonna rip you a new one. Portaling onto the team and just taking out wherever they can find you. So, but they are actually using exactly that tool to try and invade the camp. They kind of failed claiming it, but they can still get the kill. Malfurion is gone. Malf is down. Actually taken apart by Medivh too, who's now at 17 stacks. So while they are not able to take the pumpkins, they are at least able to get themselves a quick kill and more stacks for Cesabos. Now, the NA team, little bit on the back foot now. They're also behind in experience. Now this is obviously going to change a bit if the minion wave here is annihilated, but there is the potential now to do some structural damage. And Rexa at the top lane gets taken down by Falstad as he assists Arthas. The pressure play at the bottom of the map still continuing a bit further. And Medivh nibbling with additional hits. He's trying to complete that baseline quest as quickly as he can, especially when level 10 hits for your opponent and you haven't completed it yet. It can make things a bit more difficult. There's way more damage potential than And you have to be careful that you don't all of a sudden get blindsided by, let's say, an ETC slide, dropped into a stun lock, and then just murdered. So, as it stands, it's a kill for a kill in game number 3. All the way up the top lane, we have now Ether and Cure starting to move through all of this down to the bottom of the map. Yeah, Justin just sitting at the side and anchoring the play for the team. But Falstad has definitely the flexibility in his movements where he can start to apply additional pressure onto Rexa later on. But here comes the next little hit against ETC. Yeah. But it's just basically some tank battles. The first set of objectives is up. It's going to be a top left, top right exchange as usual, I would assume, and then the battle for the bot lane. At least that's what I would expect here. We'll see if one team is able to get a bit more, but not from the looks of it. Rexa is going for the channel now at the top and gets the 4 shots fired, and that leaves the altar at the bottom of the map. And they're going to try and do their best to lock this one in as well. So, let's see. For now, we get Ruby, and we have also the Hunter Gatherer, of course. Level 7 kicking in next, and it is again Porky on Malfurion that they're trying to take out. They're pressuring Malfurion a lot, and now the team is starting to fall back here. But the level 7 talent already kicks in, so the Death Coil build continues for Arthur's. But they are getting the kill on Arthur's in the middle, but the channel gets interrupted. Nice, and they have a portal right there too, as Porky was attempting to claim it. And now that the blue team is down to 4 of their players, it's gonna end up in the hands of Rospedal. The Polish team with an additional 4 shots fired, so the core on the blue team side is now down to 32. Pumpkins are back up, and both teams are focusing on it immediately, with Malfurion currently going on the level 7 into the Nature's Cure, of course. Medivh nearly done with his quest, so I suppose needs to be careful here. So he is at this point sitting on 33 stacks. And topside, that's where continuous pressure against Rexa dropped him low, but he couldn't get the kill this time. He's now already moving towards the middle with Falstad getting attacked and killed. Nice connect from Garrosh. Creates the kill opportunity for the team, and they're able to get the hit in. So yeah, nicely done. That's 3 kills to 1 overall. And Garrosh is already on his way down to the bottom of the map, but gets a roof. I mean, it's the pleb spray, but that was still pretty awesome. Turns around and drops the spray on him. Totally intentional. Glorious. Love it. Really nicely done. Like, nope, not today, my friend. But they're portaling towards the mid lane now, and Arthur, he does not have the mobility to get away from this. So Cure gets wrecked again, and that is kill number 4. That is the problem with these portal rotations. Medivh is just such a huge game changer. There's a reason why the Freedom Exporters banned Medivh out multiple times. But this time, Rospedal was able to claim it. And Madara hides in the bush and gets interrupted. He was so close. Cassia gets killed, and that is level 10 for them. Yeah, that hurts. He was so close to escaping. They nearly didn't catch it, but they got him eventually. So unfortunate for Cassia, and now they're going for ETC. And yep, that is him. Oh, actually, the Gust. Nope, he's still gonna die, isn't he? Yep, he dies. ETC dies, level 10 abilities are ready. Malfurion is also in trouble and is trying to make his way out, but this is starting to fall apart quickly for North America. They're in real trouble right now. This is 7 kills to 1. And the red team is just picking up kills wherever they can. It's getting a little bit rough. This is a level advantage. They gain a lot of momentum here. They're picking up kills whenever they can. The heroes die so quickly that Medivh can't even stack on them. He just moves in. He's like, wait guys, wait, let me hit again. Can you give me 2 seconds to complete my quest? And yeah, unfortunately not. The heroes just die too quickly. He sets a portal up, and by the time that he's in range so that he can stack his baseline a bit further, they're already dead. So Medivh is 2 hits away from completing his baseline quest. ETC has still not made a choice, by the way, so he hasn't really chosen whether he wants to add the pseudo global or whether he would prefer to go into a monster mosh pit to win the game for them. Now, the red team shouldn't get too cocky considering how game number 2 went. but they are off to a really nice start. Good throws also from Garrosh. And a beautiful ult from Deckard Cain, but the Valkyrie as a result immediately. Stay a while and get wrecked. And wrecked they get. That's a kill, that's a trade. They get the double as Cassia falls too. And once again, we have Malfurion rushing away, but they go for the birdie, and it's winner, winner, chicken dinner. So, some chicken wings on the menu, but yep, big fight in the middle breaking out, and the quest completed for Medivh. Deckard Cain dies, but they get the double kill against ETC and Cassia, and then shortly after, of course, they hit on the birdie. So a very nice 1-for-3 trade in favor of Rospiadol that allows them to go down to the bottom of the map. Big shots already fired as they're putting the opponent down to 20 points, so the altars went to them mega easily, and they get the bottom bell tower, or they at least will in a moment. There it is. So bell tower control has also happened. Yeah, things are looking really good. 10 kills to 2. Level 13 talents are ready. We got 21,000 damage for Greymane by now. Cassia as the top damage dealer for the blue team is sitting at 15,000 currently. And all the way up at the top lane, we have now Cure starting to also move in for just a second. Are they going? Nah, they're not going for the boss. They are behind them. Well, they are. Yeah, okay. They're realizing that the opponent is stealing away their camp, so they're trying to make a play for boss, but then Misha sniffs it out, and they immediately start to back off here. And for very good reason, obviously, too. I mean, if you get caught there, then you will lose so much more ground. And as it stands already, there's a double pumpkin camp at the bottom that gets escorted through. Let's see if they actually make it in. And yeah, a couple at least. They're trying to prevent the worst from happening. Not all of them made it, but that's 15 points on the core against 32. And now the altar spawn, since they still control the bell tower at the bottom left, that would of course take another 5 points off the core of the Freedom Exporters. And yeah. Yeah, a bit in a tough spot here. The Gust, and I think that should be... Yeah, that's it. So, they are isolating Rexa again. Rexa was a little bit too deep. Prismaticism sees an opportunity, flew in. But while Rexa dies, they are also losing Cassia at the bottom of the map. Every time you think the team is finally getting a break, they are losing a hero somewhere else on the map, and that's exactly what we saw once more. So it's a 4 versus 4 now in the fight for the altar. And they're jumping on Malfurion immediately, but a nice lock and stun against the red team. They're losing Garrosh. They're losing Greymane. There we go. So we went from NA Lul to 6.5 out of 10 combat mechanics. They have a chance to grab the altar, take the bell tower back, and maybe do a little bit more here. They go for Medivh, and he dies as well. The portal control was too much. Well done. So we've seen this in game number 2 with the huge comeback from North America. And now they are hoping to pull off the same little miracle in game number 3 and advance to the lower bracket. Good first effort here. Still behind in experience, but this is giving them at least a couple of options. They want to take the bell tower on the bottom right before they are focusing on the one at the bottom left. So, should get this one easily. Red team is back to business and is up at the top lane now. But that gives us a nice control position for the Freedom Exporters. The minion wave alone is already grabbing this one, so they don't even have to bother. Can still steal a couple of the pumpkins away. No play for boss, by the way, just sitting at the top and trying to apply pressure to the bell tower up here. It's now 15 to 29 points on the core, and experience is more or less even. The teams are both sitting on level 16 talents now. But what Rospiadol has to do is they gotta relax a little bit. They've gotta take a chill pill, stabilize, retake that bell tower, and then on a 4v4 bell tower situation, just play how they do. They're still ahead in core points, but late game momentum is of course everything here. They dominated for a long time, so if they continue that play, then good for them. Falstad a bit in trouble, has to actually Gust to get out of harm's way. So nice play by Ether, forcing the hand of Falstad. That's down at the bottom of the map. The bell tower hasn't been reclaimed yet, but Valkyrie gets used and dodged. And now still the chance to maybe move in and retake this. It's a triple altar phase after all now. So for Rospedol, it would be pretty important to now come in and retake that bell tower. But I think they've given up on this already. They're trying instead to go towards the top to at least take one, maybe two at the top side. Malfurious challenging at the bottom of the map. There's the interrupt. First one has happened. They go for Cure. They get the taunt and the kill. Cure is gone, has been cured of all of his hit points. And now Rexa with a channel at the top left. Ether is going to take this one. It really looks like the team is going to walk away with 2 out of the 3 altars. It's 5 versus 3 on the bell tower count, but that would still put them into the better position. 5 shots against 6 if they lock this one in. And single digits on the core of the Freedom Exporters. And that's exactly what we're getting. So, yeah, well done. Would of course been much nicer of them if they would have been able to retake the bell tower at the bottom right previously, but that wasn't really in the cards. So now they're reclaiming it. And Rospedol in the lead here. 30,000 damage for Greymane throughout the course of this game. We got 28,000 for Falstad. Yeah, and it's getting... it's gonna become a close game here. The boss also up, hasn't been taken yet. Both of the teams are always just sitting around here. Rexa has double-checked with Misha multiple times and is going to try and have a look again, I suppose. But the blue team wants it. They want to take it also off the board as an additional tool for Rospedol. And, yep, they are too late. Red team is too late. This time it's going to be claimed. I do not think that Rospedol should not make that play. And they're backing off. They lose Misha. Okay, but that could have been problematic. If they are rushing in there as late as they were, they would have lost a lot. So now they're trying to slow down the rotation to ensure that Greymane has enough time to get the bell tower converted at the bottom of the map, or at least drop it mega low. And he's going to be able to take it. He might need a portal for him. Huh? Leyline? Ult from Deckard Kane. Alright, half a level until 20, by the way. Nice damage against Arthas, but the problem is that Garrosh is in some trouble, but thanks to the portal from Medivh, he's able to get away. Misha, again, the punching ball, and even Misha survives, so yeah. But 8 seconds until the shrine at the bottom, at the altar at the bottom of the map. The more important part, though, is we nearly have level 20. If they grab 20 in... they might actually let this one go. I don't think that they want to fight into this, and they are interrupting, but do they have enough time to get the level 20 talent? I highly doubt it, to be honest with you. Here comes the attack against Garrosh, and... oh, the potions, baby! There's the mosh pit, though, but that didn't do enough. Garrosh is still alive, gets another shield. There's the gas towards the top. They're still waiting for level 20, and ETC has now tried to channel again. But Malfurion goes down, the interrupt happens, and here's the 20. That is horrible news for the NA team. They're losing Malfurion, they're losing Cassia. They're up against an opponent that has level 20 talents. The shots are fired. That's 5 shots, by the way. That's game. It has to be game. They're going to go for boss from here on. They're going to take another kill against ETC. And this is going to be it. I mean, I don't know what happened here. Somebody still has to take it. And Cesarboss realized, guys, did we forget something? I think we forgot something. I don't even know why they're currently going for the play in the middle. They should just go for... they can't go for the boss. I'm a dummy. My bad. The boss obviously is on cooldown. But yeah, so they finally realized that they have an altar sitting at the bottom of the map. But now they're going for the full barrage with the play at the top. And they will end the game there. Down at the bot lane, we have Medivh just trying to slow this down. There's no way that Q alone can retake that bell tower. So that's not happening. But the shots are being fired, and yeah, this is game. So, nicely done. And that's a victory for Rospedol, which means that the NA team drops out of Group B. A bit unlucky for them. The final shot already flying, and that's a 2-1 victory in favor of the red team. So GG, well played, and North America drops out of Group